Not all emotional blocks are created equally, and trying to heal them in the same way will keep you stuck in cycles for years. Here's how to identify your unique block pattern so you can finally target the healing work with precision. Hi, I'm Carly Schroeder, a functional nutrition coach, a mother, and a clairvoyant energy healer. And after working with thousands of women who have tried everything to lose weight, I have identified 5 distinct emotional block patterns that create completely different symptoms and require completely different healing approaches. This is why the same program that transforms one woman completely fails another. You have been using the wrong key for your specific lock. So before I break down the 5 block patterns, I want to discover your specific pattern right now. I've created the comprehensive emotional eating quiz that goes way deeper than just asking about food habits, and it examines your nervous system responses. So your childhood patterns and your current triggers to identify your unique constellation. You can grab that below because you're going to want to reference your results as we go through each one of these patterns. Now, let me show you exactly how to identify which blocks are running your system. First, let's talk about why generic healing approaches are keeping you stuck. Most programs assume that all your emotional blocks look the same and you respond to them the same with same interventions. But in my work, I've discovered that emotional blocks have completely different root causes and can create different symptoms in your body and require different healing sequences. So safety blocks look completely different than self-worth blocks, which look really different from control blocks. It's like trying to speak French to someone who only understands Spanish. The communication doesn't work, even though both are valid languages. This is why some women respond immediately to intuitive eating, while others need trauma work first. Why some women heal through movement, while others need rest first. And why some approaches feel supportive, while others actually will trigger a deeper protection pattern. Your nervous system learned that the world isn't safe, and so it hoards energy, it creates protection through rigid patterns. And this shows up as late night eating that feels completely out of control, inability to lose weight despite being perfect with your eating plan because your body won't release its protective mechanism. It will show up as exercise that feels mandatory for emotional regulation. And it even can show up as chronic fatigue because your system is always scanning for threats. Literally every one of your thoughts that you're putting out a fire, it thinks it's upon attack and that it's gonna die. The safety blocks usually develop from early trauma or chronic stress or repeated experiences of feeling unprotected. The worth blocks will actually form because of these deep beliefs that you're not deserving, and you create this self-sabotage pattern whenever you start succeeding. And this can show up as losing weight and then regaining it when you're really close to a goal, or eating perfectly all day, then binging at night because you don't believe that you deserve deep down to feel good or that you could even keep it off. Exercise compulsions to earn food in your body is another example, or feeling guilty when things are going well. Worth blocks oftentimes develop from childhood messages about earning love or being too much. The third one is control blocks. Trauma around powerlessness shows up as rigid food rules, exercise compulsions, and the all or nothing thinking. This shows up as you panic when you can't control your eating schedule or your exercise schedule, or if you have a very rigid food rule that feels safe, that's actually creating a lot of restriction in your life. Or it could show up as all or nothing thinking, when one mistake ruins everything. These control blocks usually develop from chaotic childhood or experiences of feeling completely powerless, and you'll do anything to gain control now. The fourth one is a connection block. It's a fear of being seen or vulnerable, and it keeps you hiding behind weight or food behaviors. And this shows up differently, eating differently around others versus when you're alone, using your body size to manage social interactions and attention, feeling safer when you're struggling because your success feels too visible, social eating anxiety, or the inability to enjoy food in groups. These connection blocks that I talk about oftentimes develop from shame, rejection, or being too much for others. The fifth one is the identity block. Your sense of self is so tied to struggle that healing feels like you're losing who you are. This shows up unconsciously by sabotaging your progress because being the one with food issues feels familiar. Fear that healing means you won't be interesting or relatable anymore. Feeling lost when the old patterns start shifting, or resistance to success because the struggle feels like home to you. Understanding your specific block pattern changes everything about your healing approach. If you have a safety block with a secondary control block, your body will need nervous system regulation and safety building before any nutrition changes will ever stick, or before any workout program will ever stick. So you want to try intuitive eating first. That's going to trigger more protection and safety. But if you have a worth block and an identity block, you need shame work and identity exploration before your body will start to accept lasting change. The same nutrition approach will trigger self-sabotage if you have a connection block. You'll need more social stability and safety and visibility work integrated with any food healing, or you'll unconsciously use food behaviors to manage your relationship. This is why the same program that transforms one woman completely can fail another woman. It's not about willpower. You just need different key for your specific block. I want to share a story. Maria had a primary safety block from childhood. Every diet approach that she had done failed her because her nervous system interpreted food as restriction and danger. We had to build safety to actually regulate her nervous system first. When she grew up, there wasn't always dinner at the table. So when she then became an adult, she wanted to indulge in all the foods with no restriction. In order for her to feel safe in her body, first we had to work with the reprogramming and the memories that she had and was holding on to, so she could be in more of a place of stress, release, and ease and calm around food, around eating. What I have seen is people who experience the same symptoms, like weight struggles and food issues, can have completely different root causes that requires a different healing approach. And this is why understanding your pattern is so crucial. The root cause formula assessment looks at your specific triggers and what sends you into protection mode, how your body responds to stress and what patterns emerge, where you get stuck in cycles and what breaks the pattern, your childhood experiences and how they shape your nervous system, your current symptoms and how they connect to the deeper blocks. So you're going to discover not just about your primary block pattern, but how your secondary patterns actually influence your healing journey and what sequence will work best for your nervous system. The emotional eating quiz I mentioned gives you the exact assessment. It examines your nervous system responses, your childhood patterns, your current triggers, and how your body is communicating with you with different types of blocks. And you're going to get a detailed breakdown of the primary pattern, plus specific strategies you can actually work for you to help your nervous system instead of a generic advice that may or may not apply to you. Understanding your block pattern is the first step to finally heal at a root level. Your healing journey doesn't have to be a trial and error experience anymore. When you understand your specific constellation, we can target the work precisely and then create lasting transformation that actually honors your nervous system. So stop trying to heal blocks that aren't even yours. It's time to get the right key for your specific block.